Hello, my name is Luke Burrow, and for my IPM app, I've chosen to review AgroScout. So you can find AgroScout on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It's also a website for Google Play and the Apple App Store. You can find Easy Scout right off the bat if you just search for AgroScout, but AgroScout Sky is also available if you pay for their service. That's what you would control drones with, and the drones would fly around your field and take pictures. Easy Scout is just used from your phone. You take pictures with your phone of different diseases or weeds or insect pests that you find, and it uploads it to a database. And so you can find where you've taken pictures on their website on agroscout.com. And this is where you can request analysis from experts of pictures that either you or your drones have taken pictures of. So AgroScout Sky is the app to control drones that would fly around your field and take pictures of potential diseases and pests. This video on YouTube explained it pretty well, so I thought I would include it in here.
See how quick and easy it is to use AgroScout's field scouting technology. Open the app and select the target area you wish to scout. Then press Start. The app loads the selected flight plan, and the drone switches to autopilot and scans the field. In just 20 minutes, the drone can cover about 50 acres. Skimming over the plants, the drone captures high-resolution images of disease and pest footprints, such as blight in this example. Once the drone lands, the image data is uploaded to the cloud for detection and analysis. Leveraging visual recognition, big data, and artificial intelligence, the AgroScout algorithm filters out abnormalities and matches them to its disease and pest image database. After professional evaluation, a report of infected locations with GPS-tagged images is sent to the grower's phone or handheld device. AgroScout. Detection done right.
So that was AgroScout Sky, but if you look in your phone in the App Store for AgroScout, you'll find AgroScout Easy Scout. So if you download that and then open it up, you'll find it shows your location using Google Images. So then when you're walking around the field that you're scouting and you find something, in this case I was in City Park and I found a pine tree. You'll hit the little plus button there. It'll bring up a camera, and then you'll you take whatever picture you need to of the thing, and then you'll select choose type here. That'll open up a list of different crops. When you select a crop, you hit the little plus button next to it. In this case, I've selected cotton. It'll bring up a list of different pests that could affect this crop. So you won't see, if you look in fungus, you wouldn't see potato blight in the cotton section. In this case, and so then when you think you've identified, okay, this is definitely mechanical damage, you'll select that, for instance, and then it'll bring up a list of different things that could be mechanical or chemical damages on this crop. So you'll select one of those, and then it'll tag the time and the date that you've taken the picture, and you can add more comments, and you'll hit save. Then when you go back in later, you'll see how right here this says 0 findings on it. But then once you've already taken a few pictures, it'll list how many findings there are based off of the time here. So I have past week selected, but you can select for just that day, or the past week, or the past 2 weeks, whatever it is. And then it'll for each location that you took a picture, it puts a little pin, and you can zoom down to a couple feet if you need to find specific plants that are experiencing issues. And this is the same for the drones. When the drones find issues that are problematic, or find pictures that have problematic things in them, they leave a little tag on it, and you would go back and you could find the specific plants that the drone was looking at when it took the picture. So for the target audience, it looks like AgroScout is putting this out for farmers, specifically farmers who are growing their operation past the point where they can scout effectively. And there's a few arguments for growers to have this system on hand. but it really looks like crop consultants are going to save the most time and get the most benefit from this system. Now, for Easy Scout, farmers might benefit from this more than crop consultants specifically, because if you're an experienced crop consultant, you probably don't need help identifying specific diseases on plants if you've gotten enough exposure, you know. But as a farmer, if you encounter something new, and like let's say your crop consultant isn't going to be out for a while, you could still take a picture of it and save it for later. Um, Whereas, like a crop consultant, they might not have to worry about treating specific plants or stuff like that. They might just worry about like, oh, you've hit your economic threshold. And that's where Easy Scout probably won't help them. So still, I think with the associated system of drones, crop consultants probably stand to gain the most from this. So this can be applied to virtually any crop. There's no if in Easy Scout there's no options for any orchard-based crops. So there's no orange trees or apple trees or whatever. Um, but it can be applied to any other field crop. The company is focusing on potatoes. I think this is just because of the ease of detection of the pests that afflict potatoes. You have potato blight and Colorado potato beetle and leaf hoppers, and you can see all those pretty easily from the surface. Whereas with like corn, you have corn rootworm, and you won't be able to see that. So potatoes are a good system for their drones. But Easy Scout, if you're using that, you could apply it to virtually any crop. It's literally just you taking a picture of something that you think is an issue and then saying what you think it is, and then you can search for help for it later. So it doesn't have to be a specific crop. And so I do think this improves IPM practices, because it can be applied to any crop, and it geolocates your pictures, so you can go back and find specific plants later on. I think that's really helpful, and I think it's a small thing, but I think it definitely improves IPM practices. So for the strengths and weaknesses, I do think that the biggest pro for this is that it's easy to use. You can it downloads really quick. It's not hard to figure out Easy Scout, and it can be applied to virtually any crop and pest combination. So it doesn't require any additional hardware. It's free, and then you can still on the website you can still seek out help with pictures that you take from Easy Scout. For a price, it's still like $25 for a report, but you can still seek out help if you need it. And then also the geolocation of pictures is fantastic. If you need to go back and find problematic plants, down to specific plants in a field, it makes it really easy to do that. The cons is the whole service is expensive, and this is a pretty big one. Getting drones is not cheap, and then they're like the web-based AI reporting is expensive. It goes anywhere from $50 a month to $500 a month, depending on what level of service you need. And the reports, if you're not paying $500 a month, they're $25 per report. So it's kind of expensive if you're using the whole system. Also, if you were an experienced field scout, you probably wouldn't benefit from just Easy Scout alone, but you would still benefit from the drone system, but you might not need help identifying specific diseases if you've had a lot of exposure to the different ones in your area. So there you would have to use the whole expensive system if you were a field scout. The limited battery life of drones is just a problem with drones. Not this necessarily, but only being able to cover a limited amount of acreage before you have to recharge is it could be limiting. for someone, and it only covers, because it's only taking pictures from the tops of the plants or from what it can see on the surface. It's only covering surface issues. If you have corn, you still need to do extra stuff for corn rootworm, because you're not going to see that on the surface. So that is a limitation to this, and I feel like it might give somebody who wasn't really critically thinking about this, it might give them a level of false confidence. So I think I would definitely recommend AgroScout. Just Easy Scout is fantastic. Being able to go back and find specific plants that are having issues. You can go back to the specific location you found diseases. Um, but then the whole system of drones, I think, is fantastic. So I think it definitely improves IPM scouting practices. And while AgroScout is fantastic, I do think that it could benefit from a few extra things. So the first off is a social component. So if other farmers in your area are using AgroScout, or just Easy Scout, being able to see what diseases or pests they're encountering would be really beneficial, because then you could plan for those migrating to your fields. And then adding in a land-based drone system would be really beneficial, because you could use them to sample parts of your field either before or during the growing season, to check for the pH composition and the nutritional composition of the soil, to get recommendations for fertilizer application. And then in Easy Scout, or with the drones, adding in an economic threshold for specific pests when you select that. If it told you how many you should be finding in a specific area before you should think about treating it, that would be really beneficial. And then adding in controller management suggestions would be beneficial. Though I imagine if AgroScout implemented those, it would only be as a part of their reporting service. And then finally, I think if you added in a temperature or weather-based system, if it used data that's already available out there, to say, hey, it's going to be pretty warm in your area here. That's going to increase your Colorado potato beetle activity. So you should think about starting to scout more often during this time frame. I think that would be beneficial too. So yeah, this has been my presentation. Thank you for listening.